and welcome back to another behind the scenes cake life vlog. You'll notice I'm in the exact same outfit as I ended the last vlog because it's only been about 3 minutes for me and probably weeks for you. But today we are working on a Stitch and Angel themed cake. Now this is Finn's cake. I have been making Finn's cakes for many years now and it is insane how quickly this has come around. Do you remember the Minecraft cake? Yes, that was Finn's cake a year ago. A whole year. Where the heck has that gone? So this year he has requested Stitch and Angel. And of course we have to mix it up a little bit. You can't just have regular cake that everybody else has had. We like to design something a bit more unique. So instead of doing a 3D Stitch or a 3D Angel, which is what you would assume, or a single tier, 2 tier, 3 tier with Stitch and Angel on, we are actually going to create little gift boxes and presents with them poking out of it, because I haven't seen that done yet. My issue though is this board. This is one of the lightweight boards that were introduced when we all went through COVID and COVID stopped like manufacturing materials. And basically people couldn't get hold of anything that they needed, including the people who made the boards. So out came these lightweight boards. And as you can see, it's got a little bit of a hump in it. Now I've had a box, a very heavy box, sat on this for a few days. It has saved it a little bit because it did have a bigger hump than this, but as you can see, it's not completely fixed it all. And this is the biggest board I have to be able to work on. So we're just gonna have to roll with it. Look at the state of that. But yeah, not a fan of the lightweight boards for this reason. And this has actually been stored flat. So you tell me how this has happened. But I have my ganache ready to go, got my cakes. I have some Rice Krispies ready for the Rice Krispie treat heads. It is being collected on Saturday. It is currently Wednesday, so let's get started. It is now Friday, so I have today to get this cake finished. You'll have seen me working on all the parcels, but I will talk you through it. So this is all the cake part completed, so all 4 of these are cakes. This one I'm going to have kind of stitch bursting out of it, which is why it's all ripped paper and the ribbon's all broken. In this one we're going to have Angel popping out of like a gift box. And then we have 2 extra cakes. Now I could have gone ahead and started adding like names and ages and things, but I wanted to get Stitch and Angel in place first because I've also to add Scrump. I was originally going to place him down here, but I just want to see how everything looks when the 2 main characters are in place. This is why I don't like set anything in stone, because I may put him up there, I may sit him on here. I don't know yet until the other pieces are in place. You will have seen me colour match matching a little bit, because presents can be absolutely any colour, but I wanted it all to gel and work nicely visually. So I used a website called Colours. That is the name of it there. And what I did is I just inputted like a stitch sort of blue and a pink for Angel, and then just went through the other colours to see what would work well. So Stitch does have a bit of a purple and blue theme going on, like the inside of ears, and I just thought this sort of colour scheme would work well, so that's what I've based it on. I have my lid over here drying, so this is the lid of the gift box. And over here we have, this is Stitch with his mouth open. So this is just Rice Krispies covered in ganache, and I'm going to be decorating him next. And then this is Angel. Just put in like rough eye sockets. So I'm just mixing the lighter colour for around Stitch's eyes. And I usually have the radio on when I'm working and I switch it off to film. But on the radio all week has been a lot of country music, because there is something called Country to Country coming to the UK. So it's a big country concert, show, whatever you want to call it. And Adam's getting quite into his country music. So I bought him tickets. We've never been to anything like this before. And we're going to the London one. It's in London, Glasgow and Belfast, I think. But we're going to the London one. And it's actually on Sunday, so I'm getting this cake finished. I would like to get it finished today. I do have a little bit more time tomorrow, but I want to be able to have everything in place and let it set. And then once that's collected tomorrow, we are then obviously at the country festival on the Sunday. I got him tickets for Christmas. And I also bought him just a cowboy hat, because everybody who goes to these things wears cowboy hats and boots. He opened the cowboy hat and was so like mystified, like, why have I got a cowboy hat? But the tickets were actually inside. I'm just using this as a guide now to kind of cut a rough shape similar to the eye socket here. And I'm just going to press it down inside, because I want it kind of the same thickness. So I'm just kind of pushing it in there, because there's obviously his eye to go on top of this as well. I just like blending those edges together a little bit. You can use your Dresden tool, get right down in there and create a channel, the right shape, and then push those lines back together. It just helps to merge them a little bit more. So that's one done. I'm going to do the other one next, and then he's got a strap under his chin as well. I have Stitch on. I am insanely chuffed with how he's turned out. I wanted to add a bit of playfulness and movement, so that's why he's got like one arm out further than the other, like he's proper crawling out of this present. But can we collectively agree, and I know you are going to agree with this, is the worst part for any cake maker when they're making Stitch are the damn ears. My God, I friggin' hate doing Stitch's ears, and I know a lot of other people do as well, because I'm in cake groups and it's always like, Stitch's ears are falling off, how do I fix it? How do I do Stitch's ears? It's just a nightmare. His ears are a nightmare. So you can see we've just got some anchored on with some cocktail sticks here, holding them into place until they set and dry. I'm obviously then going to add something on top of this present as well, just to support that ear, because he is traveling with this, and I think he travels for quite a bit. So I don't want the vibrations in the car to snap, you know, delicate parts of the ear. So this bit has got to be filled with filler anyway, like bits of present kind of poking out and tissue paper and things. But I want to put something here near the ear just to make sure it's fully supported. But yeah, really, really chuffed with Stitch there. And now I'm going to move on to Angel. Right, we are now into the afternoon. I have Angel's body in the gift box, and now I'm just going to fill the gift box with little bits of tissue paper, i.e. white sugar paste. It's just thinly rolled little random squares, and then you kind of just scrunch them up and lay them inside to cover up the ganache, essentially. I now know this is leaving at 10 o'clock-ish tomorrow, so I am just going to stay here until this is fully done, because after this it's more like the character Scrump and then adding details like the tag with the name on, putting the age on, and then we're pretty much done. Here she is from the other side. We're just gonna tuck these, and that's a vehicle reversing outside, you can hear in the background. I'm now on to making Scrump, and I have these polystyrene eggs. Right about now is the perfect time to pick these up in shops, because these always come round at Easter. You'll find them in Home Bargains and Poundland and things like that, amongst all the Easter crafty bits. You know, your yellow chicks, your colour shredded tissue paper, polystyrene eggs. I always pick some of these up because they come in handy, just like this, and I also keep lots of polystyrene balls handy too in lots of different sizes. So Scrump is only a little added feature to the cake, and I don't want it to overpower Stitch and Angel, who are the main stars. So I've got my colour here, and Scrump is like a rag doll that Lilo has made for herself, and it has a small body and a big head, hence why I've chosen these two different sizes. So when I go to cover my polystyrene stuff, I don't generally use any water or piping gel or anything like that, because the paste I'm using is quite tacky and sticky. If you're trying to use like a really good quality paste that you use for covering cakes with, you might actually find it too dry and too stretchy to be able to do this with. But I essentially just push the polystyrene into a blob of paste, bring it around and close the gap. It's as simple as that. And then it's a case of rolling it in your hands to smooth it out. Now it's a little bit harder to roll an egg than it is a circle or a ball, but you get there eventually. So I'm kind of just shaping it now to sit as the body. And I'm just pushing that in there, ready for the head to sit on top. And essentially same with the ball. I find balls easier than eggs. If you are using a stiffer, drier paste, you can put water on to help it stick, or a bit of piping gel. Just be aware your hands might get quite sticky doing it. Right, I'm just kind of pushing that into the shape I want. I've tapered it up slightly towards the top of the head, widen the bottom part, and now I'm just going to stick it together. So you'll see I've popped Scrump on top of the purple small box. The reason for that is I was going to put it down on the board near the round gift box that Angel is in. But because Scrump is turquoise and the box is turquoise, it just felt like too much blue in one area. And the same with, there's another present hidden behind here, a big navy one, which is where I was going to put it as well. But when I placed the blobs there, again, the blue was too close to the blue. So it will make sense when I zoom out and show you, you'll see why I've put it there, because there's more purple and pink on this end, and the blue helps break this half up. But I'm just meticulously placing these little stitches on the mouth. Of course, each one hand rolled and hand applied, because we do like to make things difficult, but it's coming together.
Right, so I'm starting to fill these details in now. So here you can see Scrump on the top and balancing out the blue on this side because there's a lot of pale blue over here. And I'm going to put the age on the one at the back, and I think I'm going to do like a gift tag here with the name on. So I know where the age and name are going. However, I have just pulled something out and I really want to put them on. So I always have leaves, florals, all sorts, sitting and waiting until they fit a job that I'm working on. And this is nice, it's all nicely coloured, blues, purples and pinks. And I was planning on maybe putting some leaves on anyway because it is very much a Hawaiian based film. There is lots of greenery, and I pulled this out, which I'm thinking I may place into that present there at the back and then put the age in front of it. And I also have this one, which is a bigger leaf. I've just chopped the bottom off because this slides so nicely in between these back two presents. If I just tuck that in there like that and stand back, so you can see it. So you can't see it much, but I am loving this. As soon as I put these leaves on, that Hawaiian roller coaster ride song popped into my head. I was like, no, this is now Lilo and Stitch. Now that it's got leaves on, it's Lilo and Stitch. And I actually really like that. And I think with the addition of this one up at the top there, that'll be tucked right down with the age on it. So you can just see the leaves are more like a background and the presents are kind of in front of the leaves, if that makes sense. I don't know if this is making sense to anybody watching. It's making sense to me, because I just really like the addition of these leaves. That's what makes it Lilo and Stitch for me. It's like Hawaii in the background and here are all the presents at the front. I don't know, I like it. I think I'm going to put them on. I've just made my little name tag and I've left it on my foam sponge to dry out a little bit because I want to kind of have it stood up here. But it's the end of the working day now. And on a Friday we go food shopping straight after work because our Aldi is now so close. I am still so excited about that we have an Aldi close by. But I'm going to go and do the food shopping, take it home, have tea, and then I'm going to come back down because I don't want to rush it. I literally just have the name plaque and just some little bits to add, but I don't want to rush it. I don't like to rush things. So I'm going to go do all that and then I'm going to come back down tonight, add it, finish it off, and then I'm going to photograph it tomorrow because I want to be able to leave these cocktail sticks in just a little bit longer overnight so that the ears set, so that it's good to go. So I'll do the photographing of this tomorrow. This is a very bold claim, but I think this Stitch cake is my favourite of all of Finn's cakes so far. A lot of Finn's past cakes have included quite small characters. And what I mean by that is when I came to design them, because they were like a mix of things or what the initial idea was, it just required that the characters be smaller than usual to kind of fit the scene that they were going on. And we've gone like in the complete opposite direction, and Stitch and Angel are absolutely massive in comparison. But I just love how it turned out. I have already had feedback and he said people were blown away and it went down really, really well, which is all you can ask for. And next year's cake is already booked in, so I can't wait to hear what the next theme will be. I probably won't hear until maybe like 2 or 3 weeks beforehand. And that's good because the later you leave it, the more sure that the recipient is kind of fixed on their chosen subject or chosen theme, because kids like to choose or change their favourites quite a lot. One day they will love Paw Patrol and the next day they will love Spider-Man instead. So it's always better to choose much closer to the time so you can nail the theme. But the next day we headed to London. We drove all the way there. We could have caught the train, but Adam said he didn't mind driving. And there was also another reason why we were driving on the way back. But we drove all the way there, we stopped at a Premier Inn, we caught the Underground,
I am not great with this. Luckily Google Maps helped, told us what platform to be on. It was only one stop away and only cost us £2. Yeah, and we hopped over to the O2 because we were stopping in the Canary Wharf area. Yeah, we stopped for some Five Guys, which is Adam's favourite. Loves the burgers from there. We got to see lots of different artists on the main stage, so I think we just about missed the Castellos. The Castellos were on when we were getting our burger. But when we got in, Avery Anna was on. She was really good. And they have like a spotlight stage, so you've got the main stage and there's a little spotlight stage where a few artists who was like new and upcoming would kind of showcase their talents for maybe just 10 minutes or so, whilst the main stage was being swapped around and changed for the new artist to come on. Next up after Avery was Shabuzi. So yeah, we knew who Shabuzi was because he has been played on the radio a lot. I listen to the radio whilst I'm making cakes a lot on Radio 2, and he's been played on there. 2 of his songs I knew, so we watched him. After him on the main stage was Nate Smith. Now I have heard of him before because I do have him on my playlist. I have Bulletproof, which is I think one of his main songs, but some of the other songs that he played were really, really good. And he is definitely on the more rocky side of country. He's like the newer side of country. And then after that, it was the main man, Cody Johnson. I knew quite a few of his songs because obviously I did have them on my playlist before we went. And I would say he's more the more classic side of country. He came out in his cowboy hat and his cowboy belt. Whereas a lot of the newer artists are more like tattooed and more rocky. But yeah, really, really enjoyed it. Adam absolutely loved it, which I'm very pleased about because I bought these tickets for him for Christmas, and I do try to find new things that I think he would enjoy, and he got into his country music, so I was hoping that he was going to enjoy it, and he really did. He already wants to go back to the next one. So we had a really good time there, and we drove back on Monday. And halfway up, we went to go and look at a car because we need a new car. Ours has done like 120,000 miles now. And the only reason we bought that car was it was a very specific spec of engine size and tow bar because we bought a caravan many years ago, which a lot of people on this channel will have been around for the whole bloody ridiculous journey that was the caravan. And we bought a caravan a month before we went into lockdown. Kind of says it all. And we had endless problems with it. Mainly lots of leaks. So we got rid of the caravan in the end, which means we now no longer need this big powerful car with a tow bar. It's been great though for fitting everything in because it's an estate. So it's been brilliant for wedding fairs, markets. We're able to get the whole setup in the back, all the cakes in the back. So when we've been looking for a new car, we've been kind of taking into account that we still have wedding fairs to do, and is it all going to fit in? So we've decided to go for a Hyundai Tucson. Most people will know it as Hyundai, but I've been watching the adverts where they tell you it's actually pronounced Hyundai, so I've been trying to use that. Yeah, and we went to look at one on the way back up and ended up buying it. So we go to collect that next week. Very exciting. We actually don't know if we can fit a full setup in the back of this car yet. When we buy it and bring it back, we're going to do a little dummy run and see how many cakes and tables and things and how much of the setup we can actually get into this car. But yeah, it was definitely time for a new one. But that is all I can update you on. I hope you enjoyed watching behind the scenes of the stitch cake. I have really loved making this one and I loved how it turned out, and I've got all my pictures ready to post on Instagram. So I hope that goes down well. And don't forget to watch the next vlog because we have 2 more cakes. We have another wedding cake and a birthday cake coming up. So if you haven't yet subscribed and you're just clicking on this for the first time and you've managed to watch this video all the way through, please consider clicking the subscribe button. I am very, 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 very slowly on my way to 100,000. I would love to hit 100,000 just to say that I did it. It's kind of just, that's kind of the benchmark where you get your first YouTube play button. And I would just like one to say that I've managed to do it, and I'm at 80 something thousand at the moment. So if you haven't clicked it, please do. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.